Have you ever stopped to wonder why we are so completely obsessed with what's coming next? I mean, as a species, we've always tried to peek behind the curtain of time, from ancient oracles to today's data analysts. So let's explore this seemingly timeless human quest to know the unknowable. Come on, it wasn't that long ago. There was this global buzz, right? A mix of genuine fear, some morbid curiosity, and, oh, so many internet memes. It was the day a prophesied apocalypse was supposed to change absolutely everything. But of course, the sun came up on December 22nd, just like any other day. The world didn't end, and that massive global anticlimax, it perfectly sets the stage for our big question. Why are we so drawn to these dramatic predictions, even when they fail over and over again? I mean, the noise got so loud that organizations like NASA actually had to step in and issue these direct, clear statements. And right there, you can see the core tension we're exploring today. The powerful, magnetic pull of prophecy clashing with the cold, hard data of science. But that whole 2012 thing was really just the latest link in a very, very long chain. This need to know what's coming, well, it's deeply embedded in our history, stretching back across pretty much every major civilization you can think of. From the Hebrew prophets and the famous Greek oracle at Delphi advising kings and generals, all the way to the magical prophecies of Merlin in Arthurian legend, every culture has had its seers. But maybe the most enduring figure of them all comes from Renaissance France. And that would be Nostradamus. This guy, he wasn't just a prophet. You could say he was a master of ambiguity. His book, The Prophecies, is basically a collection of these four-line poems, or quatrains, that are so cryptic you can interpret them in a million different ways. And that is the secret to his staying power. I mean, take a verse like this one. A young child of poor people will seduce a great troop. So, does that sound like Napoleon? Or maybe Hitler? The language is a blank canvas, really, and we're the ones who come along and paint the meaning onto it, long after the event has already happened. You know, there's actually a scientific term for this very human tendency. It's called confirmation bias. Our brains are literally wired to look for evidence that proves what we already believe, and at the same time, ignore anything that challenges it. It's a mental shortcut, sure, but it's also why we can see patterns where none actually exist. This one single bias is the psychological engine that has kept vague prophecies like Nostradamus's alive for centuries. So, if our own psychology makes us so vulnerable to these kinds of predictions, how do we ground ourselves in reality? Well, this is where the scientific method gives us a really powerful toolkit for skepticism. Okay, let's jump back to 2012 for a second. A huge piece of that doomsday theory was the existence of this mythical planet called Nibiru, or Planet X. And the story went that it was hurtling towards us, ready to cause absolute catastrophe. So what was the scientific reality? 0. Just a simple, powerful number. NASA confirmed it. There were no rogue planets, no threatening asteroids on that path, no impending polar shifts. There was no credible evidence. At all. And this really gets to the fundamental difference between these two approaches. Prophecy is based on faith, and it works backward. You fit events to a vague text after they happen. Science, on the other hand, works forward. It builds models based on evidence, it makes predictions you can actually test, and then it refines those models based on the results. And you know, the biggest irony of the whole 2012 scare is what it got so wrong about the Maya themselves. They weren't prophets of doom, they were brilliant scientists. Their calendar wasn't predicting the end of the world, it was just marking the end of one long cycle and the start of a new one. It's like our calendar flipping from December 31st to January 1st. They were masters of predicting real celestial events, like eclipses, with just incredible accuracy. So does this mean we've abandoned this ancient impulse to predict the future? Oh, not at all. It's just changed its clothes. That deep-seated anxiety about what's just around the corner, it doesn't just vanish. That desire to have some sense of control in a world that feels so uncertain, that still drives us. We're still desperately trying to map out the road ahead. This quote from tech entrepreneur Peter Thiel really captures the modern spirit perfectly. See, today, prediction isn't just about passively waiting for some divine message. It's about actively trying to anticipate trends so we can build the future we want. And who are our modern oracles? Well,
They're data scientists, economic forecasters, and climate modelers. Instead of reading tea leaves or gazing into crystal balls, they're analyzing massive data sets and running incredibly complex simulations.
And this shows us the key distinction. The goal has shifted from trying to reveal a fixed divine plan to something way more practical, managing risk, guiding investments, and shaping public policy. And the method? It's evolved from mystical visions to mathematical probability. So here's the bottom line. Whether we're talking about Nostradamus or a Wall Street analyst, our predictions tell us far more about our present than they ever could about our future. They're a mirror. They reflect what we fear: plagues, wars, collapse, and what we hope for: progress, discovery, and prosperity. So the next time you hear some grand prediction, ask yourself this: what does this obsession, whether it's about runaway AI or climate change or becoming a multiplanetary species, what does it really reveal about the anxieties and the dreams of our time, right now?